Michael Hayes had constructed his life upon three pillars: responsibility, family, and honor. With 22 years of marriage to Sarah Hayes, 16 years raising their daughter Olivia, and 18 years of exemplary service in corporate security, he believed his foundation was unassailable. That foundation began to fracture on a Tuesday morning in his temporary office in the Middle East. Michael was a senior security specialist, built with the sturdy frame of a football player and steel-gray eyes that had witnessed too many conflicts. His hands, marked by scars from years of demanding work, remained steady as he examined intelligence reports. At 45, he earned respect through quiet authority rather than overt displays. His team referred to him as the planner, not solely for his sharp strategic intellect, but for his skill in systematically analyzing and dismantling adversarial operations. The satellite phone rang at 8:00 a.m. Michael glanced at the caller ID. St. Mary's Hospital. Michael Hayes speaking. Sir, this is Dr. Elizabeth Carter at St. Mary's. I'm calling regarding your daughter, Olivia Hayes. She's been admitted with severe injuries. Michael's blood ran cold. What occurred? 3 fractured ribs, a severe concussion, and multiple bruises. Sir, I must inform you that the injuries align with indicators of intentional assault. The space around him seemed to contract. Allow me to speak with her. After a moment, Olivia's voice emerged, faint and trembling. Dad, I am here, my dear. Tell me what happened. Through intermittent sobs, the truth unfolded. Mom's new boyfriend, Derek Black, he attempted to force me. Olivia's voice shattered. When I refused, he became enraged. He said I was insolent. He kicked me and did not stop. Michael's vision blurred with fury. Where is your mother? She was there, Dad. She witnessed it all. She told me I should have complied with him. She said I brought it upon myself. The phone slipped from Michael's shaking hand. His superior, Robert Thompson, approached with caution. Michael, is everything in order? Without a word, Michael retrieved the phone. Dr. Carter, this is Michael Hayes. Ensure my daughter's safety. I disregard the expense. Hire private security, a private room, whatever is required. And doctor, if anyone attempts to remove her from the hospital without consent, contact the authorities immediately. Robert Thompson had collaborated with Michael for 8 years. He had never observed the man's composure falter, but now he saw something essential fracture in his colleague's eyes. Michael stated, his tone lethally composed. I require emergency leave. Michael, we are 3 days from a major project. My assignment is canceled. I need the private jet. Thompson examined his associate's expression and nodded. He had encountered that look in individuals who had crossed an irreversible threshold. The aircraft is yours. What do you require? Michael was already in motion, his mindset shifting to operational mode. All details on Derek Black. I want his history, connections, routines. I want to know what he consumes for breakfast and how he prefers his coffee. And Sarah. Michael paused at the office door. My wife ceased to exist the instant she prioritized him over our daughter. As the jet ascended, Michael gazed at the desert below and commenced planning. The planner was returning home, and he intended to construct something impeccable, a meticulously orchestrated dismantling of those who had betrayed his family. Michael arrived at St. Mary's Hospital at 11:00 p.m., still in his work attire. The hospital's fluorescent lighting cast stark shadows across his face as he navigated the corridors. Dr. Carter met him at Olivia's door, a professional woman in her 50s with compassionate eyes that could not fully conceal her concern. Mr. Hayes, I must prepare you. Your daughter has endured substantial trauma, both physical and emotional. Michael nodded briefly. Where is my wife? She departed approximately 2 hours after Olivia's admission. She indicated she would return. Michael's jaw clenched. That was 18 hours ago. Olivia was awake upon his entry, her face a mosaic of bruises. The sight of his injured daughter nearly shattered his meticulously preserved control. He sat beside her bed and clasped her small hand in his scarred ones. Hello, my dear. Dad. I'm sorry. Cease immediately. His voice was gentle yet resolute. You have no reason to apologize. Do you comprehend? Olivia nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. Will you remain? I'm not departing. Michael squeezed her hand. Inform me about Derek Black. How long has he been present? About 6 months. Mom met him at the downtown gym, fitness elite. He is very strong, Dad, and cruel. He compels Mom to do things. Michael noted every detail. Fitness elite gym, 6 months. What things he controls all the finances now. Mom must request everything from him, and he makes her dress differently, behave differently. She is no longer Mom. A nurse knocked and entered, a young woman with auburn hair and keen eyes. Her name tag read, Lisa Bennett, RN. Mr. Hayes. I am Lisa. I have been attending to Olivia. She glanced around warily before leaning closer. I must inform you of something. Your wife returned about an hour ago with that man Derek. They insisted on taking Olivia home. I informed them she required continued observation, but they became confrontational. Michael's voice lowered to a whisper. Where are they? Currently, security escorted them out. But sir, that man, he threatened Olivia, stating she would learn respect upon returning home. Michael rose slowly. Lisa, I need you to add me to Olivia's approved visitors and remove Sarah Hayes. Can you accomplish that? Yes, sir. As her father, you possess that authority. Excellent. Olivia is not to leave until I authorize it. Michael turned to his daughter. My dear, I must address some matters. Lisa will care for you well, and I have arranged security. You're secure now. Olivia grasped his hand. Dad, be cautious. Derek, he is not ordinary. He frightens me. Michael kissed her forehead. He should fear me. Outside the hospital, Michael contacted his former colleague Alex Ramirez, now in private security. Alex, it is, Michael. I require assistance. Name it, Chief. I need a protection team for my daughter at St. Mary's. Continuous coverage. And Alex, if anyone attempts to remove her from the hospital, intervene, regardless of who they are. Understood. Anything further? Michael stared at his reflection in the hospital's glass doors. The man reflected was no longer the husband and father who had departed for assignment 6 months prior. This was someone more rigid, more detached. Yes, I need all information you can uncover on a man named Derek Black. And Alex, this is personal. Michael checked into a hotel opposite Fitness Elite Gym at 6:00 a.m. From his window, he had an ideal view of the entrance. He had learned that Derek Black was a creature of routine, arriving at the gym each morning at 7:00, departing at 9:00, then devoting his days to overseeing several dubious business endeavors. The data Alex Ramirez compiled painted a vivid portrait. Derek Black, 38, had served 2 years in county jail for assault, managed an underground wrestling network, and maintained ties to several disreputable individuals. More critically, he was residing in Michael's home, occupying Michael's bed, and had persuaded Sarah to grant power of attorney. Michael spent 3 days observing, memorizing patterns, and assembling a thorough profile. Derek was powerful, but undisciplined, aggressive, but foreseeable. He surrounded himself with flatterers and viewed others as either threats to eliminate or instruments to exploit. On Thursday morning, Michael's surveillance yielded results. He observed Sarah exit their home, moving differently, more diminutive, more guarded. She had lost weight, and her typical confident stance was supplanted by apparent apprehension. His phone vibrated. Dr. Carter, Mr. Hayes? Your daughter is inquiring about you. You should also know your wife has called 6 times demanding Olivia's discharge, each time with that man. I will arrive shortly. At the hospital, Michael found Olivia sitting up, appearing stronger. Lisa Bennett was monitoring her vital signs, and the two had evidently formed a bond. Dad. Olivia's face illuminated upon seeing him. How are you feeling, my dear? Improved. Dr. Carter says I can go home tomorrow, but Olivia's expression fell. I do not want to return there. Not with him. Michael sat beside her. You will not return there. I'm making arrangements. But where will I reside? With me, I am taking leave from work. It is time for a career transition regardless. Olivia's eyes widened. Truly. You would leave your job for me, my dear. I would raise the world for you. Lisa Bennett approached quietly. Mr. Hayes, may I speak with you privately? In the hallway, Lisa glanced around anxiously. I perhaps should not disclose this, but your wife and that man, they are plotting something. I overheard them yesterday. Something about imparting a lasting lesson to Olivia and ensuring you stay out of their affairs. Michael's blood chilled. What precisely did they say? The man, Derek. He stated Olivia needed to learn her place and that daddy's girl would not be an issue much longer. Your wife. She concurred. Michael gazed out the hospital window, his mind processing this new data. Sarah had not merely chosen Derek over Olivia. She was actively involved in schemes to harm their daughter. Lisa. How long have you been a nurse? 8 years. Why? You have encountered abuse cases before, far too many. Have you ever seen a mother actively participate in planning harm to her own child? Lisa's expression darkened. Once. It concluded poorly for all involved. Michael nodded grimly. Thank you for sharing. And Lisa, everything you have revealed remains confidential, of course. Michael returned to Olivia's room, his mind already formulating strategies. The planner was devising something intricate now, not merely retribution, but a complete reconfiguration of the arena. Derek Black and Sarah believed they were confronting a distant working father. They were unaware they had awakened something far more perilous. Olivia, we will overcome this, but you must remain courageous a bit longer. I trust you, Dad. Michael squeezed her hand. Good, because Dad is entering the fray. Michael's initial action was deceptively straightforward. He contacted his attorney Daniel Patel, a former corporate lawyer specializing in family law and renowned for innovative resolutions. Daniel, I require an emergency custody hearing and promptly. Michael, I thought you were abroad. Emergency leave. My daughter was assaulted by my wife's boyfriend. I need full custody and Sarah's parental rights suspended pending inquiry. Goodness. All right, I can file documents by tomorrow. But Michael, be aware if Sarah contests, it could become contentious. Let it become contentious. I desire that. The second action was more elaborate. Michael had discovered that Derek managed several enterprises from Michael's own residence, including the underground wrestling network and what appeared to be a loan sharking operation. Rather than reporting these to authorities, he elected to leverage them. He placed a call to Brian Foster, an old security associate now in organized crime intelligence for the FBI. Brian. I need data, not intervention. What can you share about underground wrestling in the St. Mary's region? I heard you were overseas. Why inquire about this personal matter? Merely information. There is a network operated by a man named Black. Brutal activities, substantial funds. How substantial reports indicate he moves about $50,000 weekly through those matches. High-stakes wagering, loan sharking on the side, the type of operation that generates adversaries quickly. Michael smiled grimly. What type of adversaries? The kind that resolve disputes with force. Michael, whatever you are contemplating. I'm not contemplating anything, just collecting intelligence. Michael's third action directly involved Olivia. Upon her discharge from the hospital, instead of bringing her to his hotel, he drove her to a modest apartment he had leased on the outskirts of town. This is temporary, he explained as they ascended the stairs. Just until I organize everything. The apartment was unassuming but comfortable, overlooking a small park. Michael had already provisioned it with Olivia's preferred foods and arranged a private tutor to assist her in catching up on studies. Dad, what about Mom? Michael sat beside his daughter on the small sofa. Olivia, you must understand something. Your mother made poor decisions. Currently, my sole focus is ensuring your safety and aiding your recovery. Do you hate her? Michael pondered the question meticulously. I hate what she has become. I hate what she permitted to happen to you, but primarily I hate that she chose someone else over her own daughter. Olivia nodded gradually. I hate him, Derek. I hate what he did to me and what he did to Mom. That is natural, but Olivia, promise me something. Do not allow hatred to consume you. Leave that to me. That evening, Michael initiated the next stage of his strategy. He returned to his home, the residence where he had built a family, where he had bid Sarah farewell before each assignment, where he had taught Olivia to bicycle in the driveway. The house was dark, but Derek's truck was parked outside. Michael smiled. Ideal. Employing skills refined through years of covert operations, Michael entered his own home like a phantom. He could hear voices from the bedroom, his bedroom. Derek's arrogant laughter mingled with Sarah's anxious chuckle. Michael did not ascend the stairs. Instead, he proceeded to his basement workshop where he stored tools and, more importantly, his safe. Inside the safe were documents, cash, and several items from his security career that civilians were not meant to access. He worked silently for 2 hours installing miniature surveillance devices throughout the house. Derek and Sarah would have no privacy, no secrets. Every discussion, every scheme, every betrayal would be documented. As he prepared to depart, Michael heard footsteps upstairs. He froze, listening. I do not care what that girl thinks. Derek's voice resonated through the house. When she returns here, she will learn respect. And if Soldier Dad tries to interfere, he will learn too. Derek, perhaps we should. Should what? You transferred everything to me. Remember the house, the accounts, all of it. Your ex-husband can kiss my backside. Michael's hands clenched into fists. The recording devices would capture everything. But hearing Derek's voice in his home threatening his daughter propelled him closer to the boundary he had been navigating since his return. He exited as silently as he had entered, but not before placing a small gift in Derek's truck, a GPS tracker to monitor every movement. Back at the apartment, Michael sat in the darkness reviewing the tracking data on his laptop. Derek and Sarah were at home, likely devising their next step. They believed they held all the advantages. They were unaware the game had transformed. The planner was not merely plotting their downfall. He was constructing a mechanism that would methodically disassemble every facet of their existence. Michael opened a secure messaging application and sent a note to Alex Ramirez. Phase 2 commences tomorrow. Are you prepared? The reply arrived instantly. Prepared and awaiting, Chief. Let us proceed. Michael's campaign began with precise strikes intended to destabilize his adversaries while fortifying his own stance. The custody hearing was set for Friday, affording him 3 days to execute the subsequent phase. Thursday morning, Michael positioned himself in the Fitness Elite gym parking lot. At precisely 7:00, Derek arrived in his truck, oblivious that his every movement had been tracked for the past week. Michael waited until Derek vanished inside, then made a call. Detective Laura Mitchell, please inform her it is Michael Hayes calling regarding the assault on my daughter. Detective Mitchell was a 20-year veteran with short gray hair and the straightforward demeanor of someone who had seen every form of human depravity. She met Michael at a coffee shop near the police station. Mr. Hayes, I have reviewed the report on your daughter's case. I regret this occurred to your family. Thank you, Detective. I wish to file charges against Derek Black. We will need Olivia to provide a formal statement, and I must caution you, without witnesses, it becomes a matter of conflicting accounts. Michael slid a tablet across the table. What if I informed you Derek Black has been running an illegal gambling operation from my home? And what if I possessed audio recordings of him threatening my daughter with additional violence? Detective Mitchell's eyebrows arched as she examined the evidence Michael had assembled. Where did you obtain this? Excel at my profession, Detective. The question is, are you interested in apprehending someone who assaults children and oversees illicit operations? If this evidence is authentic, yes, but I require something from you. I need you to delay any arrests until after tomorrow's custody hearing. Can you comply? Mitchell scrutinized Michael carefully. Mr. Hayes, I hope you are not planning anything unlawful. Detective, I'm a security expert. I adhere to protocols and respect the law, but I also safeguard my family by any necessary means. Following the meeting, Michael drove to the courthouse where Daniel Patel was submitting the custody documents. His attorney met him in the parking lot with an unusual demeanor. Michael, we may have an issue. What kind of issue? Sarah has retained counsel. Victor Lang. He is costly and merciless. Rumors suggest they plan to argue you are an unfit parent due to psychological trauma from your work. Michael's laugh was chilly. Psychological trauma. Let them attempt. Daniel, I need you to subpoena all financial records for the house, including any power of attorney documents Sarah signed. Already in progress, but Michael, there is more. Lang is known for underhanded tactics. He might attempt to portray Olivia as an unreliable witness, then ensure Olivia does not need to testify. How is your rapport with Judge Brooks? She is equitable but stringent. Why? Because I'm about to present her with a case she will not forget. That afternoon, Michael visited Olivia at the apartment. She was studying with her tutor, Lisa Bennett, who had agreed to assist during her off-duty hours from the hospital. Michael had deliberately selected Lisa, knowing her testimony as a medical professional would carry significance. How is she progressing? Michael asked Lisa quietly. Better. She is resilient like her father, but she remains fearful of being forced to return. That will not transpire. Michael turned to Olivia. My dear, how would you feel about residing with me permanently? Olivia's face brightened. Truly? But what about Mom? Your mother made her choice. Now I am making mine. That evening, Michael executed his most cunning maneuver yet. He returned to his home, but this time he did not sneak in. He entered through the front door as the owner, which legally he still was. Derek was in the living room watching television. Sarah was in the kitchen. Both froze upon seeing Michael. Hello, Sarah. Michael, I thought you were abroad, emergency leave. An ironic aspect of family crises, they often reveal people's true characters. Michael's gaze shifted to Derek, who had risen and was attempting to appear intimidating. So you are the renowned husband. Sarah has told me all about you, and Olivia has told me all about you. Michael's tone remained composed, but something in it caused Derek to retreat a step. Listen, security guy, and you listen, this is my house. Those are my dishes in the kitchen. That is my furniture you have been using. Most importantly, that is my daughter you hospitalized. Derek's face flushed. Your wife invited me here. She transferred everything to me. You have no claim anymore. Michael smiled. Is that your belief, Sarah? Show me these documents. Sarah rummaged through papers on the counter. Her hands trembled as she handed them to Michael. He reviewed them swiftly, his expression unchanging. Intriguing. Sarah, did you read these before signing? Derek explained everything. I'm certain he did. Did you notice you granted power of attorney for the house but not ownership? The deed remains solely in my name. Color drained from Derek's face. That is impossible. And did you notice, Sarah, that you granted access to joint accounts but not the corporate accounts? The accounts holding most of our assets. Michael folded the papers and pocketed them. Ladies and gentlemen, as the homeowner, I'm granting you 30 minutes to gather your belongings. After that, you will be trespassing. You cannot. Derek advanced. Michael did not move, but his posture altered. Suddenly, the living room felt confined, and Derek appeared far less formidable. Derek, you hospitalized my daughter. Currently, I am being remarkably civil. Do not test my patience. Sarah, tell him. Michael turned to his wife of 22 years. Sarah, you have a choice. You can depart with him or remain, and we can attempt to resolve this. But if you remain, Derek leaves, and if you depart, you cannot return. Sarah looked between the two men, tears flowing down her face. Michael, I love him. Michael nodded slowly. Then you have made your decision. Both of you have 30 minutes. As Michael observed them pack, he felt no satisfaction, no triumph, only the cold assurance that the first phase of his plan was complete. Derek and Sarah thought they had lost a skirmish. They were unaware they had just entered the opening stages of a conflict they could not win. The courtroom was crowded Friday morning. Judge Margaret Brooks, a stern woman in her 60s with silver hair and piercing blue eyes, called the emergency custody hearing to order. Michael sat with Daniel Patel, while Sarah and Derek sat with Victor Lang, a polished attorney in an expensive suit. Olivia was absent. Michael had insisted she be spared the ordeal of testifying. Instead, Lisa Bennett sat in the gallery alongside Dr. Carter from the hospital and Detective Laura Mitchell. Your Honor. Victor Lang began. We contend that Mr. Hayes is an unfit parent due to his occupation and prolonged absences. Furthermore, his recent conduct indicates instability and potential for violence. Judge Brooks appeared unimpressed. Mr. Lang, do you have evidence of this alleged instability, Your Honor? Mr. Hayes intruded into his estranged wife's home, threatened Mr. Black, and unlawfully evicted them. Daniel Patel rose. Your Honor, Mr. Hayes entered his own property, which remains exclusively in his name. Mrs. Hayes's power of attorney documents, submitted as evidence, explicitly do not convey property ownership. Michael watched Sarah fidget in her seat. She appeared diminished, reduced. Derek, meanwhile, attempted to project confidence but repeatedly glanced nervously at the door. Your Honor, Patel continued. We have medical testimony concerning the assault on Olivia Hayes, recorded evidence of threats against the child, and documentation of Mr. Black's criminal enterprises operated from Mr. Hayes's home. Judge Brooks examined the documents. Dr. Carter described Olivia Hayes's injuries. Dr. Carter stood. 3 fractured ribs, severe concussion, multiple contusions consistent with being kicked while down. The injuries were undoubtedly from deliberate assault and the child's psychological state. Traumatized, but recovering. She has expressed fear of returning to any setting where Mr. Black is present. Victor Lang objected. Your Honor, there is no proof Mr. Black caused these injuries. Michael leaned forward as Patel played the audio from his surveillance devices, Derek's voice clearly threatening to teach Olivia a permanent lesson, and Sarah agreeing that Daddy's girl would not be a problem much longer. The courtroom fell silent. Judge Brooks's expression hardened. Mrs. Hayes, is that your voice consenting to plans to harm your daughter? Sarah appeared stricken. Your Honor, I did not intend. Yes or no, Mrs. Hayes? Yes, but Mr. Lang, does your client have any explanation for participating in plans to harm a child? Victor Lang whispered urgently with Sarah before responding. Your Honor, my client was under duress from Mr. Black's controlling conduct. Michael nearly smiled. They were sacrificing Derek to save Sarah, but Patel was prepared. Your Honor, if Mrs. Hayes was indeed under duress, why did she not report the abuse of her daughter? Why did she not seek assistance? Instead, she participated in planning further harm. Judge Brooks studied the evidence for several extended minutes. I have seen sufficient. Emergency custody is awarded to Mr. Hayes. Mrs. Hayes's parental rights are suspended pending a full investigation by Child Protective Services. Furthermore, I am issuing a restraining order prohibiting Mr. Black from approaching within 500 feet of Olivia Hayes. Derek leaped to his feet. That child is lying. And Mr. Black, Judge Brooks's voice sliced through the courtroom like a knife. You are not a party to this proceeding. If you speak again, you will be held in contempt. As the hearing concluded, Michael's phone vibrated. A message from Detective Mitchell. Arrest warrant issued. Proceeding in 1 hour. Michael grasped Sarah's arm as she exited the courtroom. I regret it came to this. Sarah's eyes flashed with sudden rage. Regret? You ruined my life. No, Sarah, you ruined our family. I'm merely rectifying the disorder. This is not over, Michael. Derek will not simply vanish. He has friends, connections, individuals who owe him favors. Michael's smile was frigid. I am relying on that. As Michael departed the courthouse, his phone vibrated again, this time from Alex Ramirez. Package delivered. Phase 3 prepared. The planner's design was clarifying. Derek Black believed he was a predator, but he had hunted in the wrong domain. Now he was about to learn what transpires when one threatens a security specialist's family. Michael drove to the apartment where Olivia awaited. Upon entering, she rushed to him. Dad, Lisa informed me about the hearing. I do not have to return. Never. You are with me permanently. Olivia embraced him tightly. What happens now? Michael looked out the window at the tranquil street below. That tranquility would soon fracture as his plan advanced to its final stages. Derek and Sarah were oblivious to what approached. Now, my dear, we commence our new life, and Dad concludes some prior matters. Michael's phone rang at 6:00 a.m. Saturday. Detective Mitchell's voice was somber. Mr. Hayes, we have a complication. Derek Black has disappeared. What do you mean, disappeared? We raided your home this morning. Found evidence of the gambling operation, loan sharking everything you supplied, but no Derek, and there is more. Your wife is deceased. Michael's blood froze. Despite everything, Sarah had been his partner for 22 years. How? Apparent suicide. Pills. But Michael, something is amiss. The scene appears staged. Michael was already moving, seizing his keys. I will arrive immediately. Michael, do not. This is now a crime scene, and frankly, you will be a suspect. An hour later, Michael sat in the police station interrogation room. Detective Mitchell and her partner, Detective Santiago Dyer, sat opposite. Mr. Hayes, when did you last see your wife? Yesterday at the courthouse. How would you describe her emotional state? Michael considered the question meticulously. Distressed, angry, but not suicidal. Sarah was many things, but not one to surrender. Detective Dyer leaned forward. She had just lost custody of her daughter. Her boyfriend faced arrest and she confronted child endangerment charges. That might drive someone to suicide. Or, Michael said quietly, someone might want it to appear as suicide. The detectives exchanged glances. You believe Derek Black killed your wife? I believe Derek Black is a violent individual who just lost everything. Sarah was the only person who could testify about his business operations. Deceased, she cannot harm him. Alive, she was a liability. Detective Mitchell nodded. We discovered something else. Your home has been ransacked. Someone was searching for something specific. Michael's mind raced. Derek had resided in the house for months. What could he have been seeking that he did not already access, Detective? I need to contact my daughter. She must learn about her mother. Of course. But Mr. Hayes, do not leave town. Michael called Olivia from the parking lot. Her tutor, Lisa Bennett, answered. Mr. Hayes. Olivia is in the bathroom. Is everything all right, Lisa? Listen carefully. Sarah is dead. It appears suicide, but I do not believe it. Olivia is in danger. Oh my goodness. What do you want me to do? Pack a bag for Olivia. Take her to the hotel opposite the police station. Register under your name. I will meet you there as soon as possible. Michael, what is happening? War. Lisa and Olivia is the prize. Michael disconnected and immediately called Alex Ramirez. Alex, status update. Chief, we have an issue. Derek Black did not merely disappear. He has gone underground, but not alone. Remember those connections your wife mentioned? It turns out Derek was enforcement for some very hazardous people. What kind of people? The kind that eliminate problems permanently. Word is he has informed them you are a threat to their operation. They are not planning to arrest you, Michael. They are planning to eradicate you. Michael felt the familiar calm preceding combat. How many 3 professionals arrived this morning? They are not locals, meaning they are unfamiliar with the terrain. But Michael, they are not amateurs. Where is Derek vanished? But I have something else. Before she died, Sarah placed a call. Lasted 43 minutes. Guess who she contacted? Michael's mind processed possibilities. Derek. Correct, and Michael. The call occurred after you left the courthouse, but before her death. She was not calling to bid farewell. Michael comprehended immediately. Sarah had not called Derek to say goodbye. She had called to alert him to disclose the evidence Michael had provided to the police, and Derek had determined she knew too much. Alex, proceed to Olivia. Ensure her safety. Already en route. What about you? Michael stared at his reflection in the car window. The man reflected was no longer Michael Hayes' security specialist. This was someone more unyielding, someone with nothing remaining to lose. I am going hunting. Michael's first stop was Fitness Elite Gym. It was closed, but that had never deterred him. Inside, he found precisely what he sought. Derek's office filled with records of the underground wrestling network loan sharking activities, and most importantly, names and addresses of associates. Among the papers, Michael discovered something noteworthy. A life insurance policy on Sarah established just 2 weeks prior with Derek as beneficiary. Sarah's signature appeared hasty, possibly forged. His phone vibrated, a text from an unknown number. Your wife squealed like a pig before she died. Your daughter is next unless you withdraw. D. Michael stared at the message for a prolonged moment, then replied, I'm coming for you. The response was immediate. I will be waiting. Warehouse District, Pier 47, midnight. Come alone or the girl dies. Michael pocketed the phone and gathered the evidence from Derek's office. It was time to enact the final phase of his plan. Derek believed he was luring Michael into a trap. He was unaware he was stepping into one himself. Michael arrived at the hotel to find Olivia devastated by the news of her mother's death. Despite all Sarah had done, she remained Olivia's mother. I know Mom made mistakes, Olivia sobbed in Michael's arms, but I still loved her. Of course you did, my dear. That is what makes you superior to those who harmed her. Lisa Bennett sat nearby, her face pale but resolute. Michael, Olivia should not be alone at this time. She will not be, but I must handle something first. Michael turned to Alex Ramirez, who had arrived with additional security, 2 former security experts named Brian Foster and Abel Price. Gentlemen, here is the situation. Derek Black murdered my wife and intends to eliminate my daughter and me. He has professional assistance and believes he has cornered me. Alex examined the tactical layout of the warehouse district on Michael's laptop. It is an effective kill zone. Multiple escape routes, water access, numerous hiding spots, which is why we are not engaging on his terms. Michael opened a detailed schematic of the warehouse complex. I have been planning this for 3 days. Derek believes he is directing the action, but he is about to enter a coordinated operation. Abel Price, a compact man with sharp eyes, leaned forward. What is the objective? Derek Black and his associates vanish permanently, but it must appear as gang violence, not security action. These men are criminals who created enemies in the wrong enterprise. Michael outlined his plan with the precision of a strategic briefing. Phase 1 would involve Detective Mitchell uncovering evidence that Derek's criminal associates had turned against him. Phase 2 would be the warehouse confrontation where Derek's own greed and arrogance would be weaponized against him. Phase 3 would be cleanup and securing Olivia's lasting safety. Michael Alex said quietly, This is not the Middle East. This is American soil with American laws. Derek Black beat my daughter nearly to death, killed my wife, and is threatening to kill my child. He forfeited the protection of American law when he declared war on my family. Lisa Bennett, who had been listening silently, spoke up. Mr. Hayes, I understand your anger, but Lisa, 3 days ago you told me you had seen a mother participate in planning harm to her child. You said it ended poorly for everyone. What did you mean? Lisa's expression darkened. The mother died in a gang shooting. The boyfriend disappeared. The child went to live with relatives out of state. And who arranged for the gang to be in the right place at the right time? Lisa met Michael's eyes. The father, he was a police detective. Michael nodded. Sometimes the system fails. Sometimes justice requires innovative solutions. At 10:00 p.m., Michael kissed Olivia goodbye. I will return before morning, my dear. Dad, stay safe. Always do. But as Michael left the hotel, he was not thinking of safety. He was thinking of the warehouse district, of Derek Black's arrogance, and of the precise deployment of overwhelming force. The planner had designed something elegant, a trap that would neutralize threats while appearing as the inevitable outcome of criminal infighting. Alex Ramirez and his team were already positioned. Detective Mitchell had found evidence that Derek's associates planned to eliminate him to protect their operation. Multiple units were responding to reports of gang activity in the warehouse district. Derek Black believed he was about to kill a grieving security father. Instead, he was about to discover what happens when one threatens a security specialist's family. Michael checked his watch. 11:00 p.m. Time to hunt. Michael arrived at Pier 47 15 minutes early, utilizing skills honed through years of covert operations to survey the battlefield. Derek had selected the location well, an abandoned warehouse with multiple levels, countless concealment points, and water access for evasion. The kind of place where bodies vanish and investigations falter. Through thermal imaging, Michael identified 4 heat signatures. Derek and 3 others positioned as snipers in elevated spots. They were professionals, but they had committed one fatal error. They assumed they were pursuing an ordinary man driven by grief and desperation. Michael's earpiece crackled. Overwatch report. Alex Ramirez's voice came through the earpiece. 3 snipers confirmed. Target is on the main warehouse floor. He has an escape route to the water. Police response. Detective Mitchell has unit staged 2 blocks away. Anonymous tip received about gang activity. They will move on your signal. Remember, gentlemen, this must appear as criminal enterprise cleanup. Derek's own associates turning on him. Michael approached the warehouse via a path that passed each sniper position. The first gunman stationed in a second-floor office never saw him approach. Michael's knife found the man's throat before he could utter a sound. 1 down. The second shooter crouched behind machinery on the warehouse floor had time to turn before Michael's suppressed pistol fired twice. The shots were positioned to simulate a gang execution. Close-range professional. 2 down. The third shooter managed a shot but into shadows. Michael had long learned that men like these expected victims to act predictably. They were unprepared for someone who moved like smoke and struck like lightning. 3 down. Derek Black stood in the center of the warehouse floor, pivoting as he realized his support had vanished. He held a pistol, but his hands trembled. Where are you, security guy? Derek's voice echoed in the vacant space. Come out. Let us finish this. Michael stepped into the light, his own weapon holstered. He wanted Derek to see his face to comprehend what was occurring. Hello, Derek. Derek whirled, raising his pistol. You! I should have killed you first. You should have left my daughter alone. That girl got what she deserved, and your wife got what she deserved too. Michael's voice remained composed. Tell me about Sarah. She called me weeping about how you were going to destroy everything. Said she would give me anything if I helped her disappear. Derek's grin was grotesque, so I helped her disappear permanently. And you thought killing her would resolve your issues. She knew too much about the business, the money, everything. Dead wives cannot testify. Michael nodded slowly. You are correct. They cannot. Derek raised his pistol. Time to join her, security guy. The shot reverberated through the warehouse, but it was not Derek who fired. Detective Mitchell and 3 officers burst through the main entrance, weapons drawn. Drop your weapon. Derek turned toward the police pistol still elevated. The officers fired in unison. Derek Black collapsed, his body striking the concrete with a damp thud. Detective Mitchell approached Michael cautiously. Mr. Hayes, are you injured? I'm fine, Detective. What transpired here? Michael gestured to the bodies of the 3 gunmen. It appears Derek's associates deemed him too great a liability. Gang violence. Such occurrences happen in criminal enterprises. Detective Mitchell examined the scene with professional scrutiny. 3 professional gunmen, all shot execution style. Derek Black killed while threatening police officers. It was clean, justified, and entirely lawful. We will need your statement, of course. As the police processed the scene, Michael walked to the warehouse windows overlooking the harbor. His phone vibrated. A text from Alex Ramirez. Package delivered. Olivia is safe. Mission accomplished. Michael gazed at the dark water reflecting on Sarah, on the 22 years they had shared, on the woman she had been before Derek Black corrupted her. He felt no satisfaction in her death, only a cold certainty that justice had been served. His phone rang. Olivia's voice was small and fearful. "Dad, are you okay? I heard sirens." "I'm fine, my dear. It is over. Derek can harm no one anymore." "What happens now?" Michael looked at his reflection in the warehouse window. The man reflected was no longer Michael Hayes, security specialist. That man had perished the moment Olivia called from the hospital. This was someone new. A father who had protected his child by any means necessary. "Now we go home. I am purchasing us a house far from here. Somewhere you can be safe and happy. Just us. Just us, my dear. You and me against the world." As Michael left the warehouse, he contemplated the foundation upon which he had built his life. Responsibility, family, and honor. Derek Black and Sarah had attempted to destroy that foundation, but they had only strengthened it, altered perhaps, forged in blood and tempered by betrayal, but indestructible. Olivia awaited him at the hotel, safe under Lisa Bennett's care. She ran to him upon his entry, and Michael held his daughter close, inhaling the scent of her hair. "I love you, Dad. I love you too, my dear, more than anything in this world." The planner had completed his final design. Derek Black was dead. Sarah's betrayal had been addressed, and Olivia was safe. The debt had been fully repaid. Michael Hayes had learned that some foundations once shattered could never be mended. But sometimes from the ruins of the old one could build something new, something stronger, something that would never break again. This narrative reminds us that in today's complex world, family loyalty is the most vital foundation, and when threatened, justice sometimes requires resolute action beyond conventional boundaries. Reflect on your choices in life and share your thoughts in the comments section. What would you do if placed in Michael's position?